What's the most shameless double standard you've ever encountered? I still remember the exact moment I realized my worth at my dream company meant nothing compared to office politics. After 3 years of working 60-hour weeks, skipping holidays, and canceling vacations, I was finally up for the promotion I'd earned 10 times over, the senior project manager position. My portfolio was flawless. I'd brought in our biggest client last year and saved 2 failing projects that everyone else had written off. My boss, Richard, had practically promised me the role. "Just keep doing what you're doing, Alex. The position is yours to lose," his exact words, spoken over expensive whiskey at the company holiday party. So when the department-wide email announced that Megan Barnes had been promoted instead, I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Megan had been with the company for 8 months. 8 months. But Megan played golf with the CEO every Sunday. Megan was the goddaughter of someone on the board. Megan had connections I couldn't dream of matching. I sat at my desk, staring at that email for 20 minutes before I could breathe normally again. Around me, colleagues shot sympathetic glances my way. Everyone knew I'd been robbed. "Conference room now." Richard didn't even look at me as he walked past my desk. I followed him into the glass-walled room, my resume already forming in my head. I'd quit. I'd walk out. I deserved better than this. Richard closed the door and finally met my eyes. "Before you say anything, I need you to understand something." I crossed my arms, waiting. "I fought for you. Hard. But this came from above me. So that's it? 3 years of killing myself for this company means nothing because Megan knows the right people?" Richard sighed, sinking into a chair. "Look, I'm going to tell you something off the record. Megan's role, it's not what you think. They're grooming her to take over the failing Pittsburgh branch. It's a promotion that's designed to fail." I blinked, processing this. Why would they set someone up to fail? Politics. They need a scapegoat for the Pittsburgh disaster, and her connections make her perfect. They promote her, praise her, then when everything falls apart, they can say they gave her every opportunity. Meanwhile, he slid a folder across the table. "This is the promotion I actually wanted for you, West Coast Director. It's bigger than Senior Project Manager, much bigger." I opened the folder with shaking hands. The salary was nearly double what I currently made. "But there's a catch," Richard continued. "You'd have to move to Los Angeles, and you'd have to start in 3 weeks. My head spun. Los Angeles. 3 weeks. Away from my apartment, my friends, my entire life. "This is what the company does," Richard said quietly. "They give the flashy local promotions to the connected people, then send the real talent where they're actually needed. It's not fair and I hate it, but that's the game." I thought about all the nights I'd stayed late, all the weekends I'd sacrificed. I thought about how I'd poured my soul into this company while Megan smiled her way through meetings she barely prepared for. "Take the weekend to think about it," Richard said, standing. "But Alex, this is how you win. Not by fighting the unfair system, but by letting it propel you higher than they ever intended." I walked out of that conference room in a daze. At my desk, another sympathetic colleague whispered, "That's so unfair about Megan." I just nodded, the folder burning a hole in my bag. That night, I called my best friend Jenna and told her everything. "So let me get this straight," she said. "They're promoting the connected person to fail, while offering you a genuine opportunity that requires you to uproot your life with basically no notice? That's their idea of making it right?" "Pretty much." "And what happens the next time? You excel in LA and they need someone in, I don't know, Anchorage? Will you just keep moving whenever they decide the connected people deserve your spot?" Her words hit me like ice water. She was right. This wasn't a one-time thing. This was the company's culture. Keep the real talent busy elsewhere while the connected crowd took the visible roles. Monday morning, I walked into Richard's office before he'd even had his coffee. "I've made my decision," I said, placing a folder on his desk. He raised an eyebrow. "That was fast." "It wasn't that hard, actually." He opened the folder to find my resignation letter on top of the West Coast Director offer. "Alex, I appreciate what you tried to do," I said, "but I refuse to be the person who does all the work while someone else gets all the credit. I refuse to be sent away every time someone with connections wants my chair." Richard's face fell. "Where will you go?" I smiled for the first time in days. "Funny you should ask. Turns out your biggest competitor has been watching my work for a while now. We had a very interesting conversation yesterday." His eyes widened. "You're going to Meridian? They've been trying to poach our clients for years. And now they'll have the person who knows exactly how to do it." I extended my hand. "No hard feelings, Richard. You did what you could within a broken system, but I refuse to play that game anymore." I walked out of his office with my head high, past Megan's new corner office where she was busy choosing new furniture. She gave me a small, almost apologetic smile. She knew what was happening, even if she was benefiting from it. 2 weeks later, I started at Meridian as their new Executive Director of Client Relations, a position they created specifically for me. My first project? Pitching to the clients I'd personally brought to my old company. I won 3 of them in the first month. 6 months after that, my old company's stock took a nosedive when their top 5 clients jumped ship. all to Meridian, all under my guidance. And the Pittsburgh branch? It failed spectacularly under Megan's leadership, just as planned. She was quietly moved to a special projects role that everyone knew was a glorified demotion. Richard called me about a year after I left. He'd been let go in the company restructuring that followed their financial troubles. "You were right to leave," he said. "I should have done the same." "It's never too late," I told him. "Meridian is always looking for good people." He laughed. "You'd hire the guy who couldn't keep you? I'd hire the guy who was honest with me when no one else was." 3 years later, Meridian is the industry leader. I sit on the executive board, Richard runs our project management division, and my old company? They were acquired in a fire sale last quarter. Sometimes I think about that email announcing Megan's promotion, how it felt like the end of my career, how unfair it seemed that connections mattered more than competence. But now I understand it was actually the beginning of something better. That shameless double standard didn't break me. It freed me from a system designed to exploit people like me. The most valuable lesson I've learned? Your worth isn't determined by how others value you. And sometimes, the most shameless double standards create the most powerful opportunities for change. I'm typing this from my corner office with a view of the city. Our company culture has zero tolerance for office politics over performance. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving them wrong, it's building something better than they could ever imagine. If you're facing your own double standard right now, remember, it might be the push you need to find where you truly belong. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real-life stories. Share your own experiences with double standards in the comments below, and hit that notification bell so you never miss my new videos. Thanks for watching.